Assalamualaikum and good day RAS256 3A classmates and respected lecturer Puan Zamzila binti Zainul. Today's focus is on a topic of immense importance, climate change. Before we delve into this vital subject, let me introduce our dedicated teammate. Our first presenter is Iqbal Sharif. The second presenter, which is myself, Muhammad Iqbal Zamani. The third presenter will be Muhammad Abdullah, and the last presenter would be Rusli Hakim. Collaboratively, we prepared a presentation aiming to uncover the complexities of climate change and spark discussions that drive understanding and action. Today, we will explore its implications, causes, and potential solutions. With a shared responsibility, let's embark on this crucial exploration of climate change's intricate landscape. Let us begin.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. I am Iqbal, and right now I'm going to be explaining to you about climate change, or what is basically an introduction to climate change. Now, before we go on to talk about climate change, I want to talk about the Earth atmosphere first, because it kind of correlates with Earth atmosphere and climate change. It kind of you know works together. So, what is the Earth atmosphere? The Earth atmosphere is a layer of gases around the Earth. It protects the earth from sun's harmful rays, and the atmosphere also contains oxygen that we breathe. So basically, the earth has a layer of oxygen, which is a layer of gas, which is the atmosphere. It protects us from sun's harmful rays and also oxygen that we breathe. So the atmosphere is mostly nitrogen and oxygen, but it also contains smaller amount of gases, including those which we commonly refer to as greenhouse gases. So, as we know, greenhouse gases include gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and also water vapor. So that's a little bit of climate change. Yeah, that's a little bit of Earth atmosphere. But what is the main contributor to climate change? It's basically global warming. How does global warming works? Now, because we know the Earth atmosphere contains greenhouse gases, right? So the greenhouse gases is what cause global warming. Don't believe me? Look, there's a study saying that the sun's rays, basically talking about what is global warming, the sun's rays shine on our planet and warm the surface of the Earth. Heat then radiates from the surface. Scientists have shown conclusively that greenhouse gases trap some of this heat in the atmosphere. So the atmosphere has greenhouse gases. A lot of carbon dioxide is causing the heat not being able to be bounced back to space. Because why? The greenhouse is trapping some of the heat in the atmosphere, causing, okay, causing the planet to be more warmer and cause global warming. So you can see how the Earth atmosphere that contains greenhouse gases leads to global warming. And we know global warming is basically one of the biggest factor for climate change. Boom, climate change. Now, we know about global warming and what is climate change basically. So, like I said, global warming causes climate change. But what is climate change? Climate change refers to a shift in average weather condition, including measures such as temperature, humidity, rainfall, cloudiness, and wind patterns, and also the changes in the frequency or severity of this condition. So it's basically a shift of weather condition, okay, and also the change in frequency or the severity of this condition. The Earth climate has been changing throughout its history, and this cycles occurs over a long period of time, and this is basically a natural process. So climate change is a normal process. The Earth climate do change, quite a while, quite a lot, but it happens in a really long period of time. But today we tend to use the phrase climate change to the very rapid change in the climate that we have seen over the past 50 years or so. All right, the scientific evidence is clear that these changes are not being driven by long-term natural long-term natural climate cycles like I stated just now. Climate change do happens a lot, but it happens in a really long period of time. But now the climate change that we are facing now is not because of the long-term natural cycle, but instead the main cause is global warming and human activities. So there you go. That is why I'm saying global warming is the big factor to um, climate change, because the climate change that we are seeing right now are basically rapid change of condition. For example, like Antarctica, the ice are melting and everything, you know. So why? Because of global warming that changed the Earth climate, and also because human activities, all the carbon dioxide that has been produced from cars and from factories and stuff. This is what caused the greenhouse to take part, and it what caused global warming and also caused the climate to change. Now, what are the impacts of climate change that we are seeing right now? So the first one, we have changes in extreme heat. Higher average temperature means heat waves are now more frequent. Now, number two, increase in rainfall. Warmer air holds more water, making heavier downpours more likely as temperature have increased. So it says that warmer air holds much more water, and that's why we are facing heavy rains. We are facing like floods and stuff. Is because increase in rainfall, because the earth are getting warmer because of global warming, and causes warmer air to hold more water. The number three, changes in the availability of food and fresh water, rising sea levels, and last but not least, loss of biodiversity and nature. So to conclude this part of introduction, we know that the cause of climate change is because of global warming. And how global warming happens is because the atmosphere contains greenhouse gases, which is, for example, the main gas is carbon dioxide, is what causes the greenhouse effect to take part. So the greenhouse gas traps the heat inside. But what is the main cause of all this is human activities. We humans, we are doing a lot of mistake, and we're doing a lot of different um, kinds of stuff that really change the earth climate. So we have to stop that. So yeah, you can see global warming cause climate change. So this is a little bit of introduction on climate change. I will be passing on the next presentation. I will be passing on this presentation to my friend. Thank you.
Climate change refers to a long-term shift in temperature and weather patterns. Various factors contribute to climate change, including natural process and human activities. Here are the natural factors for climate change. First of all is solar radiation. Changes in the sun's energy output can affect the Earth's climate. However, natural variation in solar radiation are relatively small and occur over thousands of years, making their impact on short-term climate change negligible. The second one is volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruption release large amount of ash and aerosols into atmosphere, reflecting sunlight and causing temporary cooling effect. However, these effects are localized and short-lived. Next, we are going to talk about the human-induced factors. First of all is the greenhouse gas emission. The burning of fossil fuel, which is coal, oil, and natural gas, releases greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat, leading to the greenhouse effect and global warming. Next will be the deforestation. Trees absorb CO2 during photosynthesis, acting as carbon sinks. Deforestation reduced the number of trees available to absorb CO2, resulting in higher level of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. The third one will be the agriculture. Certain agricultural practices such as livestock farming and rice cultivating releases methane and nitrous oxide, contributing to greenhouse gases emission. Next is industrial process. Industrial activities including cement production and chemical manufacturing release greenhouse gases and other pollutants into the atmosphere. The last one is urbanization. Urban areas are higher concentration of buildings, roads, and other infrastructure that absorb and retain heat, creating urban heat island. These can affect local climate patterns. Understanding this factor is crucial for addressing climate change and developing effect strategies to mitigate its impacts.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Abdul bin Muhammad Asif, and I will proceed to the climate change effect to the marine biodiversity. Human activities are disrupting chemical processes, plant, animal species, and the ocean temperatures in many ways. But we can see the first way that it affect the marine biodiversity is sea level rise reduce the area pronounced for mangrove. Second, high temperature causes many important plant and animal species to shift to the pole by disrupting their habitat. Next, we also can see an increased temperature can cause the photosynthesis inhibited. Increased ocean temperature decrease total chlorophyll content and lead to the coral bleaching along with the browning of seagrass. Second, the impact of coral and coral reef. In the last 3 decades, many coral reefs have been lost because of the ocean pollution, overfishing, and temperature rise. It is noteworthy that if this temperature rise is not controlled, it may lead to a significant loss in coral reef production by 2050. Therefore, temperature stress inhibits coral growth and calcification capacity and promotes degradation and susceptibility to stop. The decline in coral reef formation has a direct on fish production, which leads to the poverty and food insecurity. Next, we will proceed to the effect of the productivity and oxygen demand. The temperature rise can disorder normal metabolic and photosynthetic activities. It also unsettles prey-predator ratios and reduces the overall mass of plant and animal species. The warming of the upper layer degrades the ability to mix nutrients and reduces oxygen level and creates an aerobic condition that lead to high mortality rates. Fishing mortality rates have been increased by the unavailability of optimum oxygen demand, or by decreasing the total mass of phytoplankton and the low availability of essential nutrients. Furthermore, the impact of microbiome and other interaction process. Climate change is causing an increase in temperature and acidification which affect the physiological and interaction of marine species. This climate change have serious implications for kelp and its relevant microbiome. The change in the structure and function of the microbiome is important in terms of environmental change. Seagrass species divide into similar phosphoric community. Root structure and function have shown lower exudates and less lower microbial population in Halophila ovalis and Halodule uninovis. That's all from. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Rusli Hakim from RAS 2563A. In this section, I'm going to talk about action by government. The first one is fishing regulations. Fishing regulations, including catch limits, size limits, and seasonal closures, can prevent from overfishing and promote sustainable practice. Government can also establish gear restrictions to prevent harmful practice like bottom trawling, which harms marine life habitats. The second one is climate change policies. Government can mitigate climate change impact on marine life by reducing greenhouse gas emissions, promoting renewable energy, sustainable transportation, and also supporting research on its impact on marine life through policies and initiatives. The third one is bans on harmful practices. Government can prohibit harmful practices that harms marine life and habitats, such as the use of plastic bag and straw, ocean waste dumping, and harmful chemicals which can end up in the ocean. The last one is international agreement. Governments can collaborate to establish international agreement and conventions such as UNCLOS to promote marine conservation and sustainable practices. In this session, I'm going to talk about action by society. The first one is refrain from using plastic shopping bags. Plastic bag contributes to marine pollution by breaking down into microplastics, harming marine life. Refusing plastic bags reduce plastic pollutions in oceans and waterways, minimizing its negative impact on marine ecosystem. The second one is sort household waste. Sorting waste helps identify and separate recyclable materials, reducing demands for raw materials, energy consumption, and greenhouse gas emissions associated with new material production. The third one is use of eco-friendly household products. Conventional household products contain harmful chemicals that harm marine ecosystem, while eco-friendly alternatives use natural, biodegradable ingredients, thus reducing environmental impact. The last one is reuse and recycle. Recycling and reusing materials reduce waste in landfills and oceans, reducing plastic pollutions that negatively impacts marine life by reducing single use of plastic production.